Hey everyone! If your life feels a bit wobbly, like a seesaw that's off kilter, think about the yin yang. It's like your personal guide to getting things back on track. It's all about the balance between masculine and feminine energy. When these energies work together, it's like magic. You can feel whole and happy, like the best version of yourself. Come along with us on Between Dimensions and let's explore this together.
Hi, and welcome to Between Dimensions. I'm Monica Gonzalez, an astrologer and spiritual advisor, and I'm all dressed up because we are going to talk about the divine masculine and feminine energies of the yin yang symbol. You can't talk about divinity without a little sparkle, in my opinion. But before we get started, let's go ahead and do a little sound clearing. Close your eyes, relax. This only takes a few seconds. So the yin yang symbol, I'm sure you're familiar with it. Sure, you know a little bit about it. But don't worry, if you don't, I'm going to break it down in all its parts. Toxic masculinity, toxic femininity. You've probably heard these terms. Maybe you wondered, what does it mean? How can someone be toxic masculine or toxic feminine? Well, I'm going to break that down too, and I'm going to talk about ways in which to heal those energies. Because if you don't know by now, we've been imbalanced for a while. There is not a balance between our masculine and feminine energies, and I think we need a little healing. But before we get there, let's break down the yin yang symbol. The earliest recorded find of the yin yang symbol goes all the way back to the 14th century BCE. A couple of archaeologists discovered a site where they hypothesized was a site for ancient Chinese divination. And they found the symbol engraved into bone. And they carbon dated that bone and found out that that bone goes all the way back to the 14th century BCE. Granted, I know it doesn't necessarily mean that the symbol's that old. I understand that. But still, think about the fact that you had these ancient humans with this bone, with this symbol engraved on it, in order to connect to the divine. If that's not inspiring, I don't know what's your deal. Because that makes this symbol one of the most intriguing symbols, honestly. Anyways, so the yin yang symbol, what does it mean? It's representative of all the extremes of every facet of life. It's a reminder to balance between those extremes, to balance between the duality of life in order to achieve peace and harmony. And that's when you can reach the divine masculine and feminine. So the symbol is made up of half black symbol and a half white symbol. And the portion that's black is said to represent yin energy, Y-I-N. Not yang. It's not yin yang. It's yin, just in case you didn't know. And that half is said to be representative of feminine energy, which includes darkness, nighttime, coldness, wetness, introversion, quietness, stillness, softness, roundness. It's the energy of receiving. It's the energy of contemplation, intuition, and death. I said it's the extremes of every facet of life, and that includes death. While the white half of the symbol represents yang energy. Yang energy is said to be masculine energy, so that's day, light, heat, fire, movement, loudness, extroversion, giving, hardness, solidness, straight lines, angles. It's the energy of energy, of movement, of action, of braveness, of courage, of life. And then you'll notice that within each half, there's a little dot. So within the black half, there's a little white dot, and within the white half, there's a little black dot. And that is a reminder that you can't have the darkness without the light. We can't exist without each other. Feminine energy and masculine energy can't live without each other. We are within each other, and we are interconnected on a very deep level. And making it really just a beautiful symbol if you really think about it. I mean, it's pretty perfect, simple, it's perfect. And our goal as humans is to find the balance between these two energies, between the duality of life, to find balance between the light and the dark, the rest and the action, the giving and the receiving, the quietness and the loudness, the hardness and the softness. And when we find that balance, we raise our vibrations, we raise our frequency, and we can live divinely. But unfortunately, as I mentioned, society has not been balanced in a long time. And in doing this video, I came across some research that I felt is important to make mention. And I'm going to be talking about mostly the wounded feminine. And honestly, because the wounded, the masculine and feminine energies are so interconnected, you can't have wounded feminine energy without wounding the masculine, because they are almost one and the same. And if you look throughout history, you would see that feminine energy has been silenced, subdued, discredited, disgraced, destroyed to some degree. In doing this video, I watched a YouTube channel called Esoterica. And in that episode, Dr. Justin Sledge was describing the Gnostic book of Mary Magdalene. And I'm Catholic, for anyone else who's Catholic out there. If you're Catholic, you probably know the story of Mary Magdalene. She was a prostitute, she was poor, destitute. You know, she followed Jesus around like a lost puppy because, you know, she's a woman. But in the book of Mary Magdalene, Dr. Justin Sledge describes a completely different Mary Magdalene. She was not a prostitute. Actually, there's speculation that she came from a very wealthy family. And she wasn't just following around Jesus like a puppy dog. She was seen as one of his most favorite disciples. So why was the story rewritten? Why does the name Mary Magdalene mean like a seductress versus a disciple? And it may all stem from the fact that St. Peter was found to be very jealous of the relationship between Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And so he wrote his book, a book where women were not given the same authority as men. Look at the Holy Trinity. There's no woman in that. Where's the woman in the Holy Trinity? It seems to be all masculine energy. And without the balance, it cannot be whole, which is what the yin yang symbol tells us. You need the feminine. We are 51% of this population, and we are 50% of the creation of this planet. And we need to be recognized for that. And until we are put back on the pedestal we should be, and I'm not saying above men, I'm saying equal to. Both the divine feminine and divine masculine need to be in an equal, balanced harmonious place so that we could finally be healed and make this society what it always needs to be, what it always should have been. Bring us back to a state of nirvana and bliss. So after that little rant, let's talk about the wounded feminine. You can also recognize that the women have been wounded for a very long time. And so if you feel like a wounded feminine, or you are experiencing parts of your personality that you are working on and would like to be better at, it is probably stemming from this wounded feminine energy. If you think back to like the witch hunts of Salem and all over New England, really, you would know that most of these witches were just healers. But again, the power of the feminine just scared people to a point where they felt that they had no choice but to burn them at the stake. And these are all wounds we are still feeling and holding on to today, both men and women. So let's talk about the wounded feminine and what that looks like. If you recognize that maybe you're a people pleaser, or you don't have very good, strong boundaries, if you have low self-esteem, if you've ever been called sensitive or desperate or needy, if you ignore your intuition, if you feel insecure, if you have a victim consciousness, which I know a lot of us are suffering from. We feel that we don't have control over our lives, over our destiny, and we blame others for the positions we're in life. That is a sign or an indicator that your feminine energy, whether you're a man or a woman, is wounded. You ignore your intuition, or you're afraid to speak up. If anything resonates from this video, I hope it's that you need to trust your intuition. It all starts with that. It all starts with grounding yourself in who you are and what you know, and recognizing the power you have. Because let me tell you, if you feel something inside you, if something happens to you and you feel strongly something's not right, it's because it's not right. There is something not right with whatever is going on, and don't distrust it. Don't allow people to gaslight you. Don't allow people to make you feel like you're going crazy, because you're not. And the only way that you are going to finally heal your wounded feminine energy is by trusting in yourself and in that intuition. So how do we heal? How do we heal so we can finally get to the divine masculine and feminine energy? First, you want to heal your inner child. I know, easier said than done, right? So let me just give you a quick little practice to do after this video, or at any point. Either in your mind's eye, or find a picture of yourself as a child and shower it with love. Stare at it and repeat in your mind over and over and over again. I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of who you've become. I'm so proud of how brave you were during, those years. You are beautiful. You are strong. You are courageous. You are brave. And repeat it until you believe it. Because once you believe it, then you become it. You want to create a better self-image. So if you don't feel beautiful or handsome or attractive, you need to start looking in the mirror. Do whatever you gotta do. Maybe it's put on a little makeup, maybe it's put on some jewelry or a pretty dress, or, a new haircut, or shave your face, or whatever it is, be it that you're a guy or a girl, however you want to present yourself, where you feel the most attractive, do it, and then look in that mirror and be like, damn, I look good. And tell yourself over and over again, stare at yourself, be narcissistic for once, be your biggest cheerleader, and tell yourself over and over again how good you look, how good you feel. Because I'm telling you, if you do that on a daily basis, not only will you feel better, but you will start looking better. You want to develop a stronger relationship with your intuition. I know, this one's like probably the hardest one, because there are probably people in your life that second guess you, or have you second guess yourself, and it becomes difficult to recognize, the truth. A really great lesson for me to learn, to trust that feeling inside me. And let me tell you, when you have that feeling, you will know it. You will feel it. It will be a physical feeling in your gut telling you the truth. And you've got to trust it. You've got to believe it. And you've got to ground yourself into knowing that, as human beings, we have this supernatural gift of knowing things without knowing them. And that's what intuition is. And we have to start trusting it so that we can heal our feminine energy. Finally, you want to connect to nature, always a good thing. You want to embrace your sensuality. Take a good bath, or a good shower, or go for a massage. Do something that's just going to make you feel like ooey gooey, sexy, and maybe it's buying new lingerie or whatever it is. Just tap into that feminine energy. Practice self-care, and then cultivate very strong relationships. Relationships where you can totally be yourself. That friend where it's like you can tell them something absolutely crazy and nuts, and they believe you, or they agree with you, or maybe they don't agree with you, but they still hear you out, and they don't dismiss you, or they don't call you crazy. Those are the relationships you need in your life. You need the people who are going to stand by you no matter what, even if they don't agree with you, who are going to love you no matter what, who you feel comfortable around. And if that means, if you don't feel comfortable around your boyfriend because you can't trust him, you might want to rethink that and recognize, is this hurting your feminine energy? Or maybe your relationship with your boss isn't, the most comfortable thing. No, I'm not saying to go quit your job. I'm just saying take some time to review and reflect on your relationships and see which ones are actually helping you, where you feel the most comfortable and confident, and which ones are hurting you, and address those ones that are not the most healthy relationships. Because, just to summarize, you want to heal your inner child. You want to create a better self-image and identity. You want to develop a stronger relationship with your intuition. You want to connect with nature, embrace your sensuality, and cultivate healthy relationships in order to reach the divine masculine and feminine. And this is what I'm going to leave off for this video. When we are able to balance, like the yin yang symbol shows us, our masculine and feminine energies, our light and our dark energies, our actions and inactions, internal, external, softness and hardness, once we're able to balance all of that, we will then live in a state of awareness, freedom, balance, connection, alignment, adaptability, power, humility, respect, and synergy. and we're going to feel great. So, if you'd like to learn more about how to balance your masculine and feminine energy, or whatever energies, or how to practice healing your wounded feminine energy, or more about the wounded masculine energy, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or email me at betweendimensions101@gmail.com. I'd love to talk to you. Feel free to comment in the comments section, or, message me directly. And let's live divinely together. Okay, bye.